1979, 1978. I think that's a plan. On that side, you'll see a 1978 written there. I joined Urban Linkages in 1979, handled by Charlie Rufino and his friend Digoy Fernandez. That's the start of the construction, 1979. Actually, they started with this particular project. You know why? Because the Rufinos are pioneers in the movie industry. So they had their theaters in Manila, Avenue, Ever, Odeon, all of those, Ideal, and they used to distribute films here in Makati. They didn't have their own movie houses here in Makati. That's why they decided to put up one. And this was just supposed to be movie houses. What happened was, Sina Charlie decided to make it a one-stop shopping. In the States at the time, everything under one roof was the trend. So they decided, instead of just movie houses, let's have a commercial space where there's parking, banking, entertainment, restaurants, everything. So we were actually the first in that concept.
Makati Cinema Square, I would say, ito ang pinakamagandang mall sa buong Makati. Nabit namin ang Glorieta. Nakita ko ang glory ng Makati Cinema Square, ang aming Jollibee pinipilahan, lahat ng magagandang items, novelty items, good store we have in Makati Cinema Square.
Little by little, we started to fill up. And you know, we had a very, very nice mix. We had all of these branded restaurants and entertainment shops and everything. It was more or less complete. We really had one-stop shopping. You didn't have to go anywhere else. All you had to do was go to Makati Cinema Park and you could do everything there. So we were one of the, you know, the places to go to at that time. Because there were no more cinemas. At the time, all the cinemas were hemorrhaging. Why? Because of the DVDs. And I think the 30% entertainment tax was too much for them to handle. So they decided that since Makati Cinema Square was no longer without a cinema, they shortcutted it to Makati Square.
So we came up with Central because the areas really redeveloped. You can see Paso Tumon now is very high density, you know, buildings are coming up. The creek has been covered, there's a skyway that comes down now. So Makati Cinema Square now became very central. So that's why we call it Makati Central Square.
We are known as MCS. There is no other MCS. You know, it was Tessa Prieto who actually named it Makati Central Square. Let's retain the MCS, not just Makati Square, because everybody calls it MCS. So Makati Central Square is just perfect. Makati Square needs a lot of improvement. The thing is, you really can't abandon this place because it has its own charm. It's situated in a very, very beautiful location, and a lot of people still come here because there are shops that are here that cannot be found in the big malls in Makati. So it just needs to be refurbished, renovated, you know, cleaned up, and given a new personality. But it still has its charm.
Makati Cinema Square today, mix ng tenants kasi hindi na ganun kaganda before. Pero I'm happy kasi nakikita kong nabivisualize ko na babalik ang dating glory ng Makati Cinema Square because of the improving, the renovation that we're doing now.
So this was actually the first project I took over when I joined the family business about 10 years ago. So that was about 2008, 2009. And back then it was really, really hard because we had no budget talaga. As in, we had to assess the money, we had to borrow the money. So we learned from that and we said, we really have to fix this mall, but we never had the funds. So this year, we've finally been able to secure the funds and renovate. So it's a dream come true to finally see it coming to alive again. I'd probably call her the Grand Dam had a facelift, diba? Parang not just externally on the cladding, but also internally with the fit out, no? And the air cons, the mechanical, the equipments. The planning was with architect Poco and Miss Tessa Valdez. She did the internals and then architect Poco did the exterior cladding. The idea was to modernize it yet keep the 80s theme of futuristic. Back in the 80s, diba, when you watch Back to the Future, mga ganyan. It's very sharp, strong colors, but very sleek, parang Tron or ganyan. So we wanted to keep that what an 80s person, which is when this mall was built, would think of the future. So now it's the future now for an 80s person. So this is what the mall looks like. Now, the exterior panels, the gray, the roofs, all the accents that would make the mall seem futuristic. But not in a modern futuristic, but an 80s futuristic type. The idea is really on the interiors to make it also warm, no? Because the tenancy here is really, it's mom and pop shops. It's not big corporations. It's not franchises. It's really people selling their own homemade things, homemade restaurants like Emmer's, Ida's, or you have people importing things and selling it. So we wanted to support the homegrown retailers now that don't get space in the big malls because the rent is high. You need to sign up for long-term leases. So that's the idea. That's why we used a lot of stone finish for the perimeter borders, and then the tiles itself are gray. So it's very warm on the floor, and then on the ceilings we used alcove lightings and a lot of soft lighting to make it seem like you're really at home. It's your neighborhood mall. No, it's not flashy, ultra modern. There's so many malls like that. So we just wanted to keep the character, but put a little more standardization, but still make the character come out for each store. So we'll be changing the storefronts. We'll be fixing the hallways, all the lighting, the air cons. So everything looks like a certain standard. You kind of have a common theme among all the units, but it still feels warm. This is probably the phase 1 of the renovations. We've got a few more projects we haven't completed. This is the beginning of the rebirth, and look forward to new tenants coming in. We'll keep our mainstays, but we'll bring in new concepts. Parang you can have pretty much your selection of the fast food, or you can have choices of toys or retail clothes that you not normally have access to in the mall, things like overruns or factory outlet type. So we always want you to feel like you have a bargain when you come here. You can buy the things you can't normally buy in a mall, and you can do the things you can't normally do. So we have archery, bowling, gun range. Look forward to more hobbies coming in. Maybe there'll be some gaming. For now, we've already introduced short films. So we have indie films already showing. Hopefully in the next few months we'll have more co-working included as well to adapt to the new type of format of working. And then we'll have government offices. SSS is coming in, so we're hoping to bring more government offices in, so you can also do your services on your way home from work and then make your pasalubong, buy your pasalubong, and also hang out in the mall as well with your family. So it's been a long journey, but I hope that everyone's happy with the renovations, and it's a new life for this mall.
Ang Makati Cinema Square kasi may sarili ng mga customers. So, ang future na ini-expect namin, yung mga nawalang A&B customer namin, bumalik ulit. We are looking forward for a better Makati Cinema Square. So, it means more traffic will come.
I think we're on the right track because right now, with the development of the former Plaza Fair area, there will be restaurants, with brand names. It's going to be really booming. So we will be known as a family place. Right now, Mondays to Fridays, we're okay because of the office crowd. Saturdays and Sundays, we don't have much traffic. But now you'll have big restaurants and mga buffets and things like that where the families can enjoy. So I think we're on the right track. We're going to have a very, very successful Makati Central Square.